All right, so ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Okay, good. Today we're looking at, well, you know how everybody's kind of waiting with bated breath for any news on God of War 6?
Right.
Well, Gaming Bible, uh, they decided to kind of stir the pot a little bit.
Mm.
And they reported on some fan reactions to, a potential God of War 6.
Right.
And let me tell you, fans are fired up.
Oh, yeah. It's always fun to see how passionate people are.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that a lot of people seem to agree that we're going to get a sequel.
Makes sense, right?
It does, yeah, but it's what that sequel will look like. That's where things get kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. That's where the real debate starts.
Exactly. And this article really captures it. Like, there's this one Redditor who just bluntly said, money to be made, yes, there will be more.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Right. Like, it's a pretty simple way to put it.
It is. I mean, from a business perspective, Sony would be missing out if they didn't capitalize on God of War. These games are massive. Tons of resources go into them.
Yeah.
So a sequel, something that's already proven itself, way less risky.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Financially, it makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense. So
Yeah.
sequel, probably going to happen. But, and here's the big question, Kratos. What do we do with her?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. Because, I mean, he has God of War.
Right.
But some fans, they want him to, step aside a little bit, maybe focus more on Atreus.
Makes sense. Ragnarok already kind of experimented with that, right?
Exactly. They had those playable sections as Atreus.
Right.
So is that where things are going? Could Atreus carry a whole game by himself? Would fans accept it?
That's a good question. I mean, Kratos is so iconic.
Yeah.
It'd be a big change.
Huge. And then there's the idea of bringing in, like, completely new characters.
Oh, interesting.
Like, would they reinvent the franchise that way? Or is Kratos just too important?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is. There are a lot of opinions out there.
Yeah, and it shows how invested people are in the series. It's pretty cool.
It really is. So we've got this sequel that everyone's pretty sure is coming.
Right.
But the big question is, what's it going to look like? Will Kratos still be the main guy?
Mm-hmm.
Will Atreus take over? Or are we getting something completely different?
It's exciting to think about.
It is.
I can't wait to see what they do.
Me neither. So, lots to unpack here. Let's dive in.
Yeah, it really is kind of wild to see how much people care about this.
Yeah, they're not just, sitting back and waiting.
No, they're invested.
They're very invested. Like, they want to have a say in this.
Exactly. And, it makes you wonder, like, how much do the developers actually listen to all this?
Right. Do they take it to heart, or?
I mean, they have to be paying attention.
They must.
Right. Like, game developers aren't just, off in their own little world.
Yeah.
They know what's being said.
They gotta.
Yeah, and it's got to be useful for them.
Oh, for sure.
Like having this huge group of people who are already so passionate about the game.
Like a built-in focus group.
Exactly. And I mean, you can't please everyone.
No, you can't.
But you can get a sense of what people are hoping for.
Right, right. So, okay, we've got all these different ideas for God of War 6. How do you, is there a way to make everyone happy?
That's the challenge, right? But I think there are definitely ways to kind of bridge the gap.
Okay.
Like, you know how Ragnarok started to explore that whole, like, 2 generations thing?
With Kratos and Atreus?
Yeah. What if they leaned into that even more?
Ooh, interesting.
Like a story that really gives both of them time to shine.
So we're playing as both.
Potentially.
Right.
I mean, other games have done it successfully.
True. Yeah, like, what was that one with Ellie?
The Last of Us.
Yes. The Last of Us Part 2.
Exactly.
Where you switched back and forth.
Right. You got both sides of the story.
Yeah. And it was so, so good.
It added so much depth.
It did. So you're thinking something like that for God of War.
I think it could work really well.
I mean, it would fit with those themes of, like, legacy and, Kratos passing the torch and all that.
Absolutely. You could have Kratos, like, struggling with his past, trying to teach Atreus to be better.
Oh, that's good.
Right. And gameplay-wise, you could have totally different styles.
Ooh, yeah. Like, Kratos is all about that brutal combat.
Exactly.
And Atreus is more, ranged attacks, magic.
You could really tailor the experience to each character.
Man, that would be amazing.
It would. And then who knows, maybe they even throw in a third playable character.
Whoa, now that would be a curveball.
Right. Someone completely new.
Like, they don't even know who Kratos is.
Yeah, they're just thrown into this crazy world of gods and monsters.
Talk about a fresh perspective.
It would definitely shake things up.
Yeah. But no matter what they do, people are going to have opinions.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to analyze every little detail.
Because it's God of War.
Right. And the fans are passionate.
That's an understatement.
It is. But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it means people care.
It does. It means this franchise is still, really hitting a nerve.
It's more than just a game.
It is. It's a phenomenon.
That's a good word for it, phenomenon.
Yeah, and whatever comes next, it's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah, everyone's going to be talking about it.
Guaranteed.
This is why we do these deep dives. Because
Uh-huh.
these games, they spark these amazing conversations.
Debates.
Yes, and it makes you think.
It does.
And that's what's so cool about it. I could already see the YouTube comments blowing up.
Oh, yeah. Twitter, too.
But hey, it's all in good fun, right? I mean, it just shows how much this franchise means to people.
Exactly. It's a sign of a healthy fandom.
Yeah, and, who knows? Maybe Santa Monica Studios actually listening to all this.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Maybe they're taking notes, Like, oh, the fans want this. Let's give it to them.
It's possible.
Wouldn't that be wild? Like, they take some fan theory and make it canon.
Uh-huh. That would be something.
The ultimate fan service.
It would be. But, I mean, even if they go in a totally different direction,
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that God of War 6 is going to be one of the biggest games, ever.
Oh, for sure. The hype is already through the roof.
It is. And the expectations are, astronomical.
They are. The fans are. They're ready.
They are. They can't wait to see what's next.
So, okay. We've talked about why a sequel makes sense, from a business side of things.
Right.
We've talked about all the debate over Kratos' role.
Mm-hmm.
And we've even, considered the possibility of new characters, new stories.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. But here's something I want you to think about. You, listening right now.
Oh, this is a good one.
If you were in charge
Okay.
of God of War,
All right. I'm listening.
what would you do? What kind of story would you tell?
Would you stick with Kratos? Would you focus on Atreus?
Or would you go, completely off the rails and do something totally new?
It's a fun thought experiment, isn't it?
It is. And it
Yeah.
just shows, the power of this franchise.
Yeah. Even before we've seen a single image.
We're already imagining what could be.
It's exciting.
It is. So that's our deep dive into the future of God of War.
A future that's very much up in the air.
But a future that we're all very excited to see.
Absolutely.
So until next time, keep those imaginations running wild. And maybe someday you'll be the one shaping the God of War saga.
Now that's a thought.
It is. Thanks for joining us.